Afternoon. So just done a live video in our private group for the ladies in our Fit for Life program and 4-week kickstart, and it was based on a conversation I had with one of the ladies on the program earlier, and it was about one of the things she needed help with was in the evening going to a just kind of eating and snacking in the evening when she's not hungry, and I think it's a really interesting one because we know what to do, like all this, and the thing with comfort eating is I can give you loads of tips and ideas, but when I give you them, it's only human nature to look for reasons why it won't work for you, and actually they probably won't. I mean, you've got to try them, but the best ones come up through me asking you questions or someone asking you questions and you coming up with ideas from that. And it was really interesting because I said, and she actually said, she went into a bit more detail, how she feels when she lets this urge pass. And this is something I want to touch on. Hi, Michelle. It's really interesting because when you think about an urge to eat, hi, Dinah, especially when you're not hungry, if you answer the question to yourself, how long does this urge last for? Most of us can't actually tell ourselves because we don't actually let the urge ever pass, or see if it is just first, grab a glass of water, go for a walk, change our state, especially if we know we've just eaten and we're sat down in a familiar position where our body is programmed to eat, aka we've eaten, we're now in the living room, maybe with a glass of wine, watching TV. That is often associated, or drinking a cup of tea, biscuit, like that's often associated with maybe biscuit eating habits, comfort eating. So going back to what she said was, how I feel when I let this urge pass is really amazing. Hi, Norma, is really amazing. I feel proud of myself. And if we write these down, so if I was to go through it, and if you actually had a list, how I feel when I let it pass. Some people, she was saying things like proud, feel good about myself, don't feel stuffed and uncomfortable. Compare that to how I feel if I comfort eat. Annoyed, pissed off, effort, blow the evening. And it's really interesting with blow the evening and effort mode because, and I spoke about this yesterday in our Kickstart program in Devices, where we kind of go through the plans initially and kind of go through any obstacles that come up, which is probably the most important part and often neglected, especially with New Year's resolutions, because we know that our food choices are way more emotional than we give credit to. So, looking at calories, stuff like that can be helpful, but quite often we make decisions when we're tired and stressed. And I would say if you go and ask most people on the street, most people say they're tired, stressed, and lacking in time. If you consider that, we make decisions emotionally. If you make an emotional choice, you're not really going to choose the best choice for tomorrow or how you're going to feel. And based on that, it comes back to how important planning meals are, one, but also two, just knowing and telling yourself this, that if you have one poor night's sleep or you're a bit tired, and which most people will, you'll have at least one night's sleep where you're just horrendous a week. Know that your brain will perceive food, especially sugary, fatty, or cake or sweets, chocolate, as more rewarding than they actually are. Okay, so I'll repeat that. If you have one poor night's sleep or you're a bit tired, which most people will be at least once a week, your brain will perceive foods as more rewarding than they actually are. And just knowing that and telling yourself can almost put yourself back in control of that, because you can actually go, yeah, it's more rewarding. Because I can guarantee you that, I don't know, for me anyway, if I've craved a cake and had the cake, yeah, sometimes it might, if you really want it, obviously give yourself permission to have it. But quite often when in a scenario, we can actually cause to having another and another and another. And I won't go into that too much now because sometimes that can be from just a poor relationship with food. For example, restrict something enough times and you'll want it more and more, okay? And that's something that we talk about a lot, is actually having a list of foods that you call bad and actually eating one of them. when you're not tired and stressed. Because here's the interesting part, is quite often a lot of these so-called bad foods we only actually eat when we're tired and stressed. Okay, so if we only eat it when we're tired and stressed, when we have less willpower, we're likely to overeat them. And we also associate them with giving us more energy because we eat them when we're tired and stressed. Okay, just a few points to answer and just go over this. And if you find this helpful, like, share it, like it, because even if you just have a piece of paper and pen, like literally in your snack cupboard or something like that, on the side, how I feel when I let it pass, how I feel if I actually just eat it, and just list the reason, because then you get almost clarity on what you're saying yes to and no to. So I hope that helps, because like I said, we do make more emotional decisions about food than we think. And this is proof in that if you spent £100 today on, I don't know, shoes and some shopping and a bag and, I don't know, whatever, shoes in my head because I need some new trainers, it's on my to-do list. You don't just think, oh, I might as well just spend £1,000 because I've spent £100 now. But yet with biscuits, with chocolate, stuff like that, we seem to have that mindset. We go, oh, I've just eaten 200 calories of biscuits, so I might as well just eat 1,000 calories of biscuits. And that pretty much sums it up how emotional our decisions are. Anyway, I hope that helps with comfort eating. If you take one thing away from this, just ask yourself good questions about this and consider, that if you are tired, stressed, you will perceive sugary foods, fatty foods as more rewarding than they actually are. Just be aware of that, tell yourself that, and just consider the choice that you have when you make that in the evening in terms of comfort eating. Do I actually want it, or am I doing it over habit? And just writing down your feelings and actually feeling your feelings rather than kind of fighting them, if you like, can just help you make a rational decision rather than it being that emotional choice. I hope that helps. Any questions, let me know. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and speak soon.